My father didn't like it, which was interesting because he had never been a particularly religious man. But when I told him, he didn't like it. He actually stopped talking to me, and that was very hurtful to me because I love my daddy. I was daddy's girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Daddy ain't talking to me. Like, this is, Daddy ain't talking to me.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't really talk to me. And for years, my father did not like, he eventually started talking to me again, but he was always disdained whenever I wore my hijab or whenever I said anything that alluded to Islam or anything like that. In 2009, I gave my father Shahada.
How did that happen? How did he eventually break and
Just,
give in?
he just kept watching me. He was like, you ain't moving off of this.
And he wasn't particularly religious either, right?
No. And so, which surprised me that he had such a strong reaction
Yeah.
to me becoming Muslim. I'm like, where'd that come from? I was expecting it from my mom, but I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting it from you. And he didn't think, he revealed to me later that he was angry with me because he didn't think I understood why I did what I did. And he was like, I always want my children to understand why they do what they do.
Right.
Don't just do anything.
Yeah.
Understand why you're doing it. Believe it for real if that's what you're doing it. And he was like, you've proven over the years that you understand it. And I was just chipping away at him over the years. Because I'm doing stuff like raising his children. I raised my siblings, my smaller siblings. That's the whole different story.
Yeah.
And so me and my husband are doing that at the time. And he's looking at my husband like, this man has come into my daughter's life and he loves her. And he not only loves her, he loves my other children.
Yeah.
And he's taking care of them. And so that gave him a level of respect, man to man, with my husband, my then husband. And I just was talking to him about it. And one day he was like, how do you become Muslim? And I was like, you what?
Girl. You know what's so interesting about it though? You have a draw to you. I think that is very underrated, and I don't even think people understand it, which somewhat aligns with what it is that you're saying as far as how it was that you were able to influence, not even through anything that you were saying, but just how you are and what it is that you do on a daily basis. And I see it even when it comes to content creation, right? Because anytime that your name is mentioned, every time that I live stream and I say, oh, that's my baby Crimson Cure, and so on and so forth, people love you. Like, you have a loyal following and a group, not even to say a group, but I'm going to just say a legion of people that absolutely love and adore you. Are you surprised at the journey and what it's become so far as how you've been able to grow from a content creation perspective? Or is this something that's just like an expectation? Did you expect for it to go like this?
Not at all. I am very surprised.
Why are you
It
surprised?
humbles me every day because when I came to YouTube, I came for therapy. I was using YouTube as therapy.
Okay.
I had no intention of ever making it a business. I didn't even see it that way.
Okay.
And so, I came in shortly after I started coming onto YouTube because I had been sort of around the manosphere back when Tommy Sotomayor was not quite as famous as he became. So I had always kind of been listening, and I floated around and found my way to another content creator, BGS Ibmore.
Okay.
And I found my way to his content. He had a channel for women, and I would tune in every once and again. And then I eventually found my way to Angry Man.
Shout out to
channel.
Angry Man.
Shout out to Angry Man. I eventually found my way to Angry Man's channel. And that's sort of how I came on the scene, quote unquote. And so I gained an interesting reputation. I'm the clean version now. But in 2017, 2018, 2019, I was a foul-mouthed tyrant.
What? No way.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
It's no way.
Yes way.
That anybody could ever convince me in any way, shape, or form that you were anything other than what it is that I see exactly right here, right now. There's no way. Soft-spoken, sweet, firm, able to, substantiate your arguments and everything like that. But absolutely one of the sweetest people that I've ever met in my entire life.
Thank you. The beginnings of my YouTube journey was not so sweet. Not so sweet. I gained a reputation for biting people, as they called it. She the lioness, she gonna bite somebody on this panel. And at that time, I was going through a lot of emotional and spiritual trouble.
Okay.
Soon after I kind of came on the scene and was interacting online in this YouTube space, that had to start probably mid 2017. My little brother passed in August of 2017, and then my husband passed January of 2018. So I was in a lot of
That makes sense.
pain. And so I was lashing out at people. I was lashing out at people. I was, dropping F-bombs. I was just angry. I was angry. And I wasn't angry at the people necessarily that I was talking to or interacting with. I was angry at life. I was angry with where I was in life. I was angry that I didn't have the covering my husband anymore. I was angry that my little brother was gone. I was angry. I was just mad. And I took it out. And to a certain degree, it was funny to people because I could roast you. You know what I'm saying? And all that. It comes from Chicago. You got to be able to roast people. So I'm roasting people. I'm doing all this kind of stuff. But deep inside, I'm not liking that I'm doing it. It was a dysfunction there. It was a brokenness there. So when I come here and you see me now, I don't want people to ever think that I'm coming as perfection or trying to present myself and my life as if I've always lived it perfectly or as if I've always lived it excellently, because I have not. I can talk at length about the mindset of a lot of foolishness, because at one point I was living in that mindset. I was doing those things. And so it's not something that I'm necessarily coming from outside talking about it and looking in. I was in that pot.
Yeah.
And now I'm not in that pot. So now I feel like I got the authority to speak on it, though.
Yeah.
Because I've been through it. I understand where people be coming from when they're just in that broken mindset. And I know how I got out of it. So my channel is about values. It's about coming out of a survival mode of mind and coming into a thriving mindset.
Yeah.
Not a scarcity, but an abundance. Not just barely getting by, but excellence.
Yeah.
And that's important because that was the path that I took. That was how I had to look at life in order to evolve into what you see right now.